Morning guys, this is Brad and Jared out making some tillage passes here this morning, trying to get a piece of tillage equipment set. We're trying to get the setting on this. We're going to show you what it looks like when it's set properly, when it's not set properly. You can see how level the machine is running right now. We made some adjustments to the 3-point to make that machine run nice and level. Brad's trying to get her pulled up to a speed of around 4 miles an hour, and we're going to show you the results here in a second. A couple things I wanted to point out to you guys is how we're digging this trench that Brad's going to talk about here in a second. We're digging it by hand. We're not coming out here with
the piece of tillage equipment we are working with this morning is a John Deere chisel plow with 12-inch centers. And right now we're trying to work out and getting the depth adjusted properly. The first pass, we were pulling along here at 4.244 miles per hour. Things seemed to be going good. And we started digging to see how the shanks were shattering the soil below. And this is what we were finding out. So with a 12-inch center, we're trying to run that 6.5 to 7.5 inches deep. We're pulling in here and we're only coming up with 5 to maybe 5.5. We're a touch too shallow. You can see as our shanks are running through, our fractures going over the soil, original soil surface here, and coming back down and then back up again. So as we're looking at the soil behind us, when we come in next spring to do our secondary tillage, we are still going to be left with the compaction and the importance of getting rid of this soil in between the shanks is to help with our planter ride, our spacing, and our consistency with that soil moisture, and also help if we can get that soil to fracture in between. We can allow moisture to get in between that soil, and then the frost can help move that soil to help alleviate some of that compaction as well. Here, just one pass over, and all we did here was set it down about 1.5 inches on the 3-point. And now as we're looking at our soil pit, we're seeing nice fracture all the way across in between each shank. And also where we're looking in between the shanks, that soil is fractured horizontally underneath. So you can take and pick that trench right up. It'll allow moisture, roots, and so forth to get through there. And now we know we got a good fracture. But we encourage you to get out in the fields, dig behind. Another thing I wanted to point out here this morning was when we're digging behind that chisel plow or a ripper, we can find out how accurate our shank spacings are set up on that piece of equipment. And by looking at where our shanks are running in the soil on 12-inch spacings, you can see right here that we're left with a wider, larger hump in the center of this spacing due to the shank being moved over 2 inches. And then you can see right here where the shank was running at the 2 feet, that hump is just totally destroyed. So to help get some better consistency in your fracture and your tillage is to go through your piece of equipment and just get that shank spacing set up as close to perfect as you can. Here we want to be on the outer edge of the field. We're trying to measure out the depth of our shanks. This is the proper way we should be measuring the depth of our shanks. We're taking that straight edge here, we're laying it across the virgin soil. We're digging out where our shanks ran, putting the tape measure in. We're down at about 6.5 inches, which is about minimal. We want to be running on 12-inch spacings. See, typically when we're doing this measurement from the virgin soil to the bottom of our shanks, we're doing that on the outer edge of the pass, which makes it a lot easier. We shouldn't be seeing this past the pass. And this is where guidance systems help pay for themselves in a quick hurry. Because as you notice behind us here, where it's tilled, it's not showing up, but as we move all that loose soil away, our guess row right here is roughly 2 feet wide. But with the levelers and everything else, it kind of covers that up. But now as we're working and getting our planters rolling next spring and doing our secondary tillage, these are why we're seeing differences and variabilities out in the field the following year that it's hard to explain. All right, as we're looking at the chisel plow here, we're looking at the shanks. A lot of times you get the comments, guys say they're running 14, 15 inches deep, if not deeper a lot of cases, because they're looking at the dirt on the shovels. As we're looking at this shank here on the side of this 12-inch shovel that we just made that last pass with, and we're showing that we're running at only 6.5 inches deep. We look at what's left on that shank, we got 12, 13 inches of soil left on there.